How's it going? How are you doing? How are you guys feeling? Yeah, welcome. Welcome to a new stream. Welcome to a project that I wanted to introduce to you. Something I've been working on just out of... I couldn't sleep, to be honest. I was just not able to sleep, and I thought, hey, is it actually possible to create a 2D character in CRYENGINE? So I went ahead and kind of started doing weird things to CRYENGINE, and it kind of worked out. It was weird, but I have to admit, I did a lot of cheating. And I'll just show you what I did and maybe how I did. So I just created this little like voxelized world that should represent a 2D world with this 2D character, which, you know, jump and run animations. I didn't go as far as to create, you know, attack animation and enemies, but that's something I'm working on. And I actually should have backwards running, or didn't I include that yet? No, I don't think so. But yeah, we can run forwards. We can, we have an idle, we can jump. And as soon as we, you know, get close to this little portal here, well, let me do it again. Yeah, like this. So yeah, we have running, we have some voxel art. And if we go close to this portal, we're going to teleport to an actual 3D world. I don't know why he's constantly running. He's supposed to go from running to idle. Yeah, weird. Okay. So this looks pretty cool in my opinion. And the reason why there's any, you know, even physical interaction, for example, if you run through the water here, you can see a little interaction between water and the character, which looks cool in my opinion. And how I do it is, yeah, I'm cheating quite a lot. Because if we go to draw helpers, okay, does it helpers 1? You can see why. You can see why I am cheating here. And you can see the reason why I am interacting with, you know, the physical environment here. So this is why we actually, you know, have a 2D character. Let me just deactivate that back again. Because we are attaching a 2D animation, a 2D plane to a real character. We just hide all of the skin files that we would usually have, but it's a good way to have physical interaction. I mean, you can do it in a lot of ways. You can use just simple physical impulse to kind of get... He's doing the moonwalk. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's the state machine that I created. It's kind of weird. It's not supposed to do that. He should go from idle, from run. Oh, where's running? Oh, this is running. Yeah, if released, he should go to idle anim again. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, that's correct. He's idling now. Yeah, so this is again a little bit of cheating, a little bit of you know, being cheeky here and there, but this works pretty well. I mean, there are a few ways how you could create that, how you can, you know, cheat a little bit. Yeah, it's a weird setup. It's a really weird setup. So how I did that is just by using the material editor. I just got a few pictures of something, and I just animated through the material editor, the legacy version of that. If we go to just any animation, you can see that here in the Legacy editor, yeah, we have to move around the mouse so everything is kind of shown up. This is still weird. Yeah, that's better. Everything is just actually, you know, one texture here, but you have to put specific numbers in here. So CryEngine actually knows that you have to repeat or just play the textures that are inside this folder. But we can get a little bit later to that. So what I did here is actually, you know, pretty simple. Oh, this looks pretty cool. I like how this looks. Interesting. So yeah, I just took a simple plane or rectangle. You can call it whatever you want. In the end of the day, it's just a plane. Now we have a plane here. This plane, you know, can be exported as a CGF, so you can use it as an actual object. But for now, we're just going to use it as a simple plane. There you go. So next step is to actually get, you know, a character. We need to get a character from somewhere. Either you create and animate if you are talented, or if you are not talented, just like I am. In that regard, you can just go ahead and go to itch.io and just look for a pretty interesting animation set. Just, you know, I would recommend just pay a little bit for the artists. The artists are amazing and they're giving away, you know, some of the stuff for free. Like here, name your own price. It's pretty amazing. You get this cool character with animations and so on, and you're just gonna, you know, go ahead and start animating and use it in your project. So yeah, give it a little bit of respect to the creators here. And what you can do is, you know, you can choose a character like this Pixel Adventure, and you can go ahead and download it. And what you get is, in the most cases, I would say, let me look up the file. Oh no, I don't have to look. It's right here actually. It's supposed to be right here. Yeah, you will get something like this. This is something that, you know, we wouldn't be able to use, you know, as an animation. You can go ahead and create a particle effect. That would actually work. But I kind of decided to not go with the particle effect because it would be I would have less control over the actual animations by using the particle editor, but I can still go ahead and show you how it's done. Just for test purposes, I will create a particle and we'll call it test character. We can go ahead, open the particle editor. I will just attach it, you know, right here. Make this a little bit small and we'll just drag it out. We should use sprites. Yeah, sprite is completely fine. It should be forwarded towards the screen. Size is also okay for me. So what we need to do here is, oh, you know what? We can actually go with just a sprite default particle. This should actually work pretty fine. Yeah, material. Oh wait, do we have something better? I don't even remember what I picked. Tiled sprite. Yeah, this is what we need. We need a tiled sprite. Here we will just add the texture that we need, like the characters. Cried. You get it? It's not a knight, it's cried. Right? Hello? I'm so sorry. So let's take the running animation, for example. You can see now here we have the animation. You know, it's oriented towards us, which is completely fine. Let's move it a little bit up. And yeah, this is how it looks like. This is the texture that we use, but it's still not moving. So we have to do the tiling thing. We can see, like, at the tiles X, we have two characters. That means Let's enter 2 here, and down there we have 4. So we go times 2 times 4. Tile count in general, there are, well, 2 times 4 is 8. So we have 8 tiles. First tile would be 0. Frame count, let's say 30. We have an animation going on here. So this is how it would work. Frame count, let's do 24. And no frame blending. So yeah, this is how the animation looks like. I changed a few things here and there, of course, with the speed of the animation, but in general, where do I place you? Oh, there you are. But in general, this should work the same. The size is still a little bit off, so you have to play around with sizes and so on. And this is kind of, for me personally, 0.5. For me personally, it's just a little bit annoying. Yeah, this doesn't. Where do I change the? Well, it doesn't matter whether I change the size here, but this is how it would look like. We don't need any motion physics, but yeah, you can do it better just by using the technique that I used, even though it's hideous and it takes you a little bit of time to create the animations, but you have much more control over it later on if you want to create actual gameplay. So in this case, what I did is I took this thing here. Let's see if we can open it in Photoshop or just open File Explorer. Yeah, there it is. I know, yeah, let's go with idling. Yeah. Let's go here. So yeah, I just took those characters here and I created a new file which is divisible by 8. So I got this file here, which with the size of 400 pixels, and I divided each part, or I divided it into 25 pixels. Oh, not 25. Wait. I'm lying here. I divided it in. Let me check. Oh yeah, 50. Okay. So each 100 pixels is just one cell for one animation. It's tedious to do, but yeah, it will get used to it when you do it a few times. So you can kind of, you can just go ahead. You pick this tool here and you just, align it with the helping lines, and you're good to go, and you can save this as one picture. One thing you have to do, you have to go ahead and when you create like your order, if you create your night order, it's cried. You put it in one layer, you press Control A and Control C, you go ahead into your channels, you add a new alpha channel, and then you press Control, Shift, and V. So you actually place the layer that you copied previously into the alpha channel layer. So you actually have a proper alpha channel. When you export each and one of the pictures, just using Cry to format, you go ahead, I'm just doing a test run here. You go ahead and you go for, you can go with just albedo with generic alpha. That works completely fine. You can go with that. And you're good. Yeah, I know. And you're good to go. But there's one thing that you really have to pay attention to, and which is really important before you do all that stuff. You would have to go into the direction of your you would have to go into the direction of your CRYENGINE wherever you install it, and you go to RC. You go to tools first, then you go to RC, which is the resource compiler, and you open this little ini here, rc.ini. In here, there's a little restrictions that kind of restricts you from exporting proper textures that you would need for this, because some textures are not really feasible for CRYENGINE. For some reason, I was busy with that task for, or I think 2 or 3 years ago, we went through it with one of our rendering guys. And yeah, so this thing here, which is called power of 2, on your end, on your settings, it's probably set to 1. We don't need that. We need to disable that. So we put power of 2 at 0. And you do it for every texture and for everything that you want to export. Actually, you just go ahead and, you know, change the 1 to a 0. So you disable the power of 2. And in a lot of cases, especially if you're dealing with HDR skies, you would have that issue that if you want to export an HDR sky for CRYENGINE, you would have to submit to the power of 2, which is weird. We don't actually need that. I don't know why it's actually still in the editor. We have to get rid of that. Some textures still require the proper workflow with power F2, but in this case, yeah, you just can disable it. Just go ahead, wherever you see it, here, just disable it. And you should good to go. Of course, save the file after you're done, and you should be fine. Yeah, so the next thing is to go ahead and save each and one of them in the proper order. And also, one thing you have to do is to name them correctly. So if we go ahead, and we can, you know, look into our folder here, especially for the idle animation, I have the naming convention of, first of all, calling the animation. Then you would start with the first frame, which is 0, 0, which can be confusing, but it is what it is. It's just 0, 0. After that, you would start, even though it's the second picture, you would go with, again, the name of the animation, which is idle, and the number of the frame, which is then the first frame, the 0 frame. After the 0 frame. And then, of course, the name of whatever the character or something is called. So again, idle 0, 1, cried for me. And I'll go ahead and do it with every animation that I have. I have 8 animations, so in the end, yes, you figured it out, there should be a 7. As soon as I've done that, I go ahead into CRYENGINE, and I just create a material, which is this one. Of course, I think your first instinction would be to open it in the usual material editor, but the thing is that you cannot set the specific code, so the editor will actually play the animations that you want here in this material editor. Even though as soon as you set it and it works, it can be read here, but you cannot change it anymore. So what you have to do is you have to go into the material legacy editor. You would have to open it up. You would have to, you know, find the animation or the material that you just created. Let me just go ahead and watch something or look for something. Just give me a second. Yeah, you would go like this is old stuff. This is really old stuff. But here we kind of explain what the naming convention should be. So in order to animate textures in Sandbox, you need to have a particular name in the material editor. And the naming convention should be like this here. So as soon as you created your material, as soon as you got it already, you just take the 0, or in this case, the 0 animation, the first one, the first texture that you exported, and you go ahead and follow this this naming convention. Oh no, sorry, I'm so sorry, that's wrong. You pick the last one. That's really important. You pick the last one, and you go ahead and start naming it. But how and why, we'll get to that right now. So, it's a bit confusing. I had to try a few things out here and there, but I will explain shortly how to do that. So we have the number. This is the start of the texture name. So for my example, the start of the texture name is the actual name of the animation. That means in my case, it's just simple idle. In your case, let's say it's running. In my show, in your case, it could be running. So you just say running. And then you have to enter the digits of the animated sequence. 2 characters mean 2 digits of the animated sequence, and this is something that we have. That means we would have the 2 hashtags. Then we would have 00 underscore 07. But why it's not in a new editor? I don't know. I mean, this feature is forgotten. I would have to ask, but I don't know why it's not in the editor right now. This really shows how flexible the engine is. Impressive. And CRYENGINE is underrated for sure. Thank you very much, Darkrod. Thank you. Then you set up the count. So how many textures you have. And this one is actually quite important. It's not really optional if you want to have a little bit of control over your over your animations in CRYENGINE, which means this is a little bit, it took me a little while to actually understand because I'm a little bit stupid in here, but it takes your animation that you have or that it's played, I think times frame rate, times whatever you enter here. So of course, if you do it times 1, it will give you like the proper speed. If you do it times 2, it will be faster. But if you go a little bit lower, it will also play automatically a little bit lower. So I put like 0.1, and that's why the animation is, it's quite slow. Like if we pay attention, this is the animation speed that, that's controlled by the engine, but we have to, intervene a little bit in here and just go ahead and just slow it a little bit down. And we do it with every animation. And that's it. That's actually this simple. So what we do here, if we go back to our, damn it, I forgot where it is. Let's go back here. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. So yeah, particles, you can use that maybe for NPCs or something. You can have play, you can play a lot here. I think I will create enemies with the particle editor. So yeah, we can get rid of that. And what we do is, we just create a simple, rectangle. Yeah. Please display. I'm sorry, I said display back-facing polygons. So oh, I know why. Okay, don't worry. It's fine. We can turn it around, and I will explain in a second why this actually happens. We'll go ahead, and we have our idle animation. We can put it just on here. And now, okay, you can see like it's weird, and we still have, oh no, we do have the animations on the other side as well. It's just because you have to, you have to click on two-sided, so it's also shown on the other side of the object. Okay, it's in a weird form. Let's go. No, not you. 90. This should be it. Yeah. What you can do now is just, a little bit of resizing, make it a little bit bigger. Now go back to the edge and just, make it smaller, Try to circle down, rectangle down your character here. And that's it. This is all you have to do. You have your first character ready. It's ready to go. The pivot is in a weird position. Let's readjust. Let's go middle. That's it. This is what I did. Now you can click on it again. You can go to transform, export it, and export it as a CGF. As soon as you have done that, you should have, this little knight over here. Let's create an epic scene just really quick. Here we would have multiple knights, different animations. There we go. This looks awesome. Quite easy, quite simple. So, okay, this is where the interesting part comes in, because right now, what you have is a CGF of a simple rectangle, of a simple plane, let's call it plane, and a texture on it. which is more impressive than you think, because now you have full control of everything. And I will explain why, because this is quite simple. It's cheating, but it's so amazing. What you do next is you just go ahead into the character tool. And if you're using the simple side-scrolling character, or whatever character you're using, but I would advise you to use the side-scrolling template. You just go ahead, not here. Here. No, wait, where's my character? I don't get it. Characters. Animals? No, we need Jimmy. Where's Jimmy? Oh, crying. Oh, so of course it's sample character. I'm so sorry. I'm stupid. Yeah. It's our sample character. You go ahead. You can see all the attachments. So we have our character. Our character, of course, has all the attachments, like the body, like the actual body of the side-scrolling element. And you go ahead and you just hide it. You hide everything. And then you go ahead and you create a new attachment. You create just a new one. You select that it's a joint attachment. So you go ahead, create a new joint attachment, and you select the joint attachment to be the root of your character. Then you can play a little bit, around. You can go and transform it a little bit. You can. This is something that I have done to put it a little bit higher. And that's it, because it's generally positions itself like in front. Like you can see, if we compare it with the character, it's like it's going into the right direction. Of course, if it's not going into the right direction, you can adjust it here with rotation and stuff. And you can make the character go forwards. Where's the hide everything else, just don't hide the actual attachment that you just added. And you can name it, you can attach it to the root bone, set it a little bit higher than 0. Maybe like this. No, let's do it slow. It's fine, Save. That's it. Now you have a character, you have a material, which is automatically assigned to, your CRYENGINE or whatever you will call it. And that's all you need to do in the character tool. That's simple. It's actually it. Let me just delete it, because usually you would have to restart, but I am just deleting and editing it back again. Should be a little bit higher from the ground now. Well, we can adjust it later. It's fine. Now, what you want to do is you want to animate, right? And you think like animation, well, that's effing hard. I don't want to animate everything, but it's way simpler and it's way cooler than you might think. Just go ahead and create your idle. And go ahead and create your jump, or for example, what you would need first, of course, is the running material. Same procedure as I explained earlier. You create all the 8 of animations, you separate them, you create a running material, and you just go ahead and animate it in the material legacy editor. And what you do next is so cool. You just create an empty entity anywhere. You create a new flow graph in that. If you want to know how it's done, you have the empty entity right here. We can go ahead and go a little bit, here. You press the right mouse button, you create a new flow graph and you name it. And what you do next is you just go ahead and create this little flow graph. Let me just get rid of stuff we don't need right now. No, go away. What's this? Oh, this is transporting. This is teleport. We don't need. Go. Yeah, flow graph is old. Go away. Thank you very much. So let's start really, really simple. You have to add your own logic later on, of course, but what I did is I just added the debug input key. If you don't know where it is, you just press right mouse button, or you just go here and say input, and you would have your own input key. You just enter the key that you want to be pressed, which is D. And the thing is, why it makes it cool, you already have the code for your character movement, and it's bound to D. So if you want to go to the right direction in a side-scroller game, you just press D. And it's the same thing here. But what you do next is you just simply change the material. So as soon as you press D, you would have to change the material of our current character, of the CGF that we created. And what I did here is I just put the, you just type in attachment, you go to entity, and you have the char, that stands for character, of course, character attachment material parameters. And what it gives you is it gives you this little node over here. What you can do here is first you just add the local player. You can do that by, either looking up the local player right here in the actor, or you just can press Q and type in local player and press enter, and then you would have this little node over here. I will just add it. Now it knows that our local player, which is registered in the code as I think player 1, this node will know, okay, where do I even start? What's the starting point? What do I have to do now? And from here on, we just will go with, our current player. We have the character slot at 1. We have the attachment, which is called, which we named earlier. If you remember, if you go back to the character tool, the name of the attachment is CRYED. So we set the name to CRYED, which is type it in. And as soon as we press D in this case, we will just set the material. And what we can do now is we just can go, to this is where you have to work with the material editor together, because again, it's an old system. You wouldn't normally, use it. So we just pick our idle animation. And you have to be careful. I thought I could do it with just sub-IDs in the material editor, but it's not that easy. So I would just recommend creating new material for each animation. And as soon as you've done that, you just go ahead and you press this button over here, as long as you have, your material selected here, and it will automatically add your material to this one. That's it. That's all you have to do. And as soon as you are in game, whenever you press D, it will just simply change the material. And that's it. And now you have to, of course, start to build your logic around that. I have 3 animations here right now. I have running, jumping, and idle. So idle is something that your animation need always to return to, which I kind of do with logic any. And of course, simple jumping is right here with space. You just have to type out space. As soon as you have that, you add a delay, because this is something I would have to invest a lot of time in. I would have to check for the ground for physical collision, and as soon as there is a registry of a physical collision, I can say, okay, stop playing this animation. Or again, this is why cheating, because in this case we are not playing animation, we are just setting a texture. We're just setting a material onto an object that's actually not moving, not doing anything. It's just a effing plane. But you have to play a little bit, with the logic. So what I did here is I know that approximately the animation is played for 0.8 seconds. So I said, okay, when it's pressed, delay it for, I have 2, pressed, set the material, but then delay it for, or after 0.8 seconds, go to here and set it back to idle. And that's it. That's how I did that. And it's quite simple, but you have to be cautious here, because of course your character can also jump or fall, in that case, longer than 0.8 seconds. So again, it's a tricky thing. You have to do a lot more code if you want to have a proper jumping system here. And then Well, I did this one. I know it's a portal, but for some reason the proximity trigger does not register me as the player. I don't know why. So I had to cheat a little bit. I just had a system where you... Oh, my scroll button is effed up. I cannot scroll in. Okay, no, I can't. So I have to press X, and as soon as I've done that, I'm just getting beamed into... Oh, this is also old. We don't need that. I'm getting beamed into this tag point position. I just placed a random tag point into the world. And then as soon as it's done, I press X. There's a transition that I did in not flow graph, but I did it in track view. Just a simple blend out and blend in transition. As soon as I press X, it waits 1 second and then it plays the transition. And in that time where I play the transition, I actually get teleported into this random point in the world of the level Woodlands. Of course, I did a little bit of lighting, as you can see, so it looks a little bit cooler. The shadow is also still there. You mean the shadow of the animation, or what do you mean? Which is amazing. Yeah, I know. But CRYENGINE can do that. Okay. Now he needs to turn around to walk into the other direction with the correct animation. This is also possible, and so I have a few options here on how I can do it. Yeah, shadow from the texture of it. This is amazing. I know, I love it too. So there are a few options here. I can just add, the same. I just can effing flip it. Just can go ahead. Sorry if it's in German. I'm really sorry, but I do work a lot with Photoshop, and German is just a little bit more convenient to me. Now, where's transformieren? It doesn't work for some reason. Cool, but that's why. You just can flip it and do the same for the other side. And as soon as you press A, so go into the other direction, you just play this animation. Or you can just flip. You can go ahead, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but it still can work. You can just go ahead and flip it 180 degrees. I don't know where it went. I maybe pressed the wrong button here. 180 degrees. Oh, that's transform. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. No, wrong axis. Wrong axis. 180? No, it's minus 90. So yeah, you can just flip the direction and control it in code. Then German with Roma, I'm sorry. Yeah. Do you think you can do the same thing with schematic for this CRYENGINE version? I need to test it. I honestly didn't test it. I don't know how much control you have in schematic over specific elements. I know that with the new visual scripting, and I can talk a little bit about it. I hope I don't get killed for that. But with the new visual scripting, you have so much effing control over everything, over every aspect that you can think of in the editor, which I love. But yeah, you can do here. You can just flip it. I think you can access. You should be access the orientation. Let's see, not arrangements, but attachments. Entity, not material, but character attachment control. Okay, attachment name, show, hide, replace. Well, what you can do, this is actually pretty good. So what you can do now, I'm laughing because it's so much cheating in this case. I consider it as cheating at least. What you can do is actually add another. Can we copy? Add a new one, paste. Cried, but let's not call it cried. Let's call it cried left. And we just flip. What did I flip? I forgot what I need to flip. Oh yeah, this is what we do. We're going minus 19 degrees. and we hide it. So as soon as I need to think. It was a long weekend. Logic is not my power right now, but this should be possible. Still, let's go. We need to add the entity ID character slot. Let's go with, I don't know why one works, but it works. Right, left. So on game start, it should be hidden, but as soon as, let me think. As soon as we press D, no, we don't need to press D. It's not allowed for us to press D. We need to press A. Yep. As soon as we press, we need any, oh gosh, logic. As soon as we press A, we need to show this one, and we need to hide this one. But when it's released, when it's released, we need to another, we need to hide the left one, and again, and show this one again. Yeah, does it make sense? I don't know. Let's test it. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. Really impressive stuff. Really exciting. I don't know the engine could do that. Yeah, that's. I thought the same. And that's why I did it. Because I knew the engine should be able to do such things. That's not that. Oh, because I'm stupid. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just cried. That should be it. Also, let's check debug display message. If this one, no, it's fine. We don't need to do that, but this should be cried left, cried. What's the character slot? What does character slot do? Character slot which the character is loaded. Oh yeah, it's one. Okay, it's fine. Okay. What disappears? It works. So the code works. It's not a problem. There's just an issue, I think. Okay, I know what the issue is. Because on default it's hidden. Let's restart. Maybe this will work. Let's just restart. Let's see. Maybe sometimes, the editor just needs a little restart. Yeah, we can discard that. It's completely fine. Yeah. If you want to know, actually, oh yeah, I cannot send you the link, damn it. I'm not logged in. It's in the software that I'm using for streaming right now. Let's just give it another run. Let's give it another test. Because in theory, this should work now. This should definitely work. Yeah, it does work perfectly. Sometimes it just needs a restart. Yeah, we have to do the same with idle. Yeah, that's the problem. You see, that's the problem. That's why I know it's hideous and it's a lot of work. And also we have the proper dimensions right now. We are not stuck in the ground anymore. This is also nice. Yeah, the problem here is that when we run and we run into the other direction, which again works really fine, and I'm so happy about that. The problem here is that when we idle, we turn into the other direction. So I think the smartest solution in this case would be, yeah, to just mirror all the animations. Maybe you don't need the release. What do you mean? Yeah, but I can play around over the weekend or next week and see how I can fix it and create a really good state machine, because this is, I think, what needed the most right now, a proper state machine. On release of you changing it back. And then I do what on release? Works fine. I like the little motion blur that's happening here. Does it mean your character becomes left-handed when going left? Oh, also, yeah. Yeah, well, this is something that the pixel designers, pixel animators have to pay attention to, because I am not good at something like this. I'm not a pixel animator, but yeah, you're right. He becomes left-handed, right? But I'm just happy that the flipping thing kind of works. I'm myself am surprised that it actually works. Button A, yeah, Lucas, I still don't know what you mean. So, yeah, also one thing, like in the background, you can see the background's moving because I wanted to create like this parallax effect. So whenever I press D, the background is moving along whenever I do it. I press D, the background is moving. Again, I press D, background is moving. That means when I'm running forward, the background is moving to the left until it resets itself. So I didn't plan for this little sequence to be, that you run this long. Yeah, I just have an entity here, and I linked all the other entities here, which is, it kind of looks like a movie set. I like it. The other entities are linked to this main entity, and I just control this entity over the track view. I just move it from A to B, and then I go into flow graph, and in flow graph I just say, I don't remember where I put the code. Oh yeah. Just start this animation sequence when I press D, and repeat it, and pause when I release D. That's, yeah, pretty simple. Again, that's why cheating. Bei Flowgraph hast du nicht eingestellt, wenn du A loslässt, das ist wieder zu Cryed wechselt. No, I did, because it wouldn't, you see? It automatically changes it back. Yeah, if you have any questions, please, let me know, because that's it. That was the hour that I planned for this little stream. Also, if you actually, if you want to know more about it, if you want me to continue, working on that, please, just let me know, whether on Discord or here. I don't know. I still wanted to add some enemies. I wanted to add some attacks. I wanted to have a little puzzle going on, like jumping puzzle at least. Because this works surprisingly well with the side-scrolling template. Incredibly well, to be honest. And Woodlands still, to this day, looks pretty amazing. Yeah, I cannot get up there. I actually can. So yeah, you can have your own little adventures here and there. Yeah, it looks awesome in my opinion. Okay, well, yeah. Thank you very much for your time. I really hope you enjoyed that little stream over here. I really hope you had fun with it. If you want to know more, if you want to know anything about it, just, let me know. Bye-bye.